Dark side's calling out, nothing is real. She'll never know just how I feel. From out of the shadows she walks like a dream. Make me feel crazy, make me feel so mean. Ain't nothing gonna save me from a love that's blind. Slip to the dark side, across that line. On the dark side. Oh yeah. On the dark side. Oh yeah. Dark side's going on, nothing is real. She'll never know just how I feel. From out of the shadows she walks like a dream. Make me feel crazy, make me feel so mean. And nothing gonna save me from a love that's blind. Slip to the dark side, across that line. On the dark side. Oh yeah. On the dark side. Oh yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new DDLIVE 103. Get the fuck up. Eddie and the Cruisers, baby. Come on, let's go. Everybody sing with me. Come on, let's go.
Nothing gonna save
Sing
me
it from the love that's blind. Slip to the dark side, across that line. On the dark side. Oh, yeah. On the dark side. Fuck yeah, I love that song so much.
On the dark side. Oh yeah.
How are you guys doing?
On the dark side.
Did we listen to the whole song? Holy shit, that song's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. How are you guys doing? I say this all the time, but it feels like it's been forever. For some reason, it just feels like it's been a long time. Let me say my hellos. Say my hellos. Zodiac Z, Rosalia. Rosalia, you got a birthday? Happy birthday, Rosalia. Everybody say happy birthday, Rosalia. I thought I saw that in there. Brian Sanchez, dude. Amber Hill. Brett, Goodrow Hunting. Nicholas, Vincent, didn't forget about you. Chester. Trina, sorry you can't stay. Doing some Christmas shopping. Buy some, you know what? Spend a lot of money. Spoil them kids. Have a good time. Chris Snyder, what's up, brother? How you doing? Mike, Cinema, Polly. How's Polly doing? Maniacs Lives. Wes Borland? Wes Borland, he was the guitarist for Limp Bizkit. I think he's still the guitarist for Limp Bizkit. Patrick Ryan, what's up? Not JPEG. Jay Disla, what's up, brother? How you doing? R. Jacob, Brandy. Seeing so many of you rolling in here. Gene Wildecombe, hello. Testing. Chris Fluff, what's up, brother? Testies. How you doing? Warden, how you doing? Randall, what's up, man? Randall, the horror writer. He's writing some good stuff. He's cooking. Gotta be cooking. Brandon, the Beldam. Logan, how you doing? Man, how many of you motherfuckers in here? I'm not even gonna look. Shelby, how are you doing? Nice to see you. CJ Kidd, Courtney, Runnels, Bastiel. Jesus, man. I thought I'd run out of names. I am so happy to have all you here today. I put ask me horror questions, but if you don't have questions, but I got tons to cover tonight, okay? Tons of fun stuff to cover tonight. What's everybody drinking? Let me get situated over here, okay? I got my high quality H2O, and I gotta have my Monster, right? So, Agent James, how you doing, brother? Yeah. You know what? We're gonna start off with something fun. I got funnies tonight. I told my patrons just recently, I said, you know what? This from this point on going forward, I'm going to have a patron segment in my DD Lives. Okay, this is just a way for me to say thank you to my patrons. Love you guys so much. So I said, you know what? Just throw me some quick, little topics, questions, whatever. And they always throw some really fun questions at me. One of them, I did some homework for them too. Beth S, she sent me a really good one, and I got some nice slides for you. Let me see. Let me pull it up here. Okay, topical slides. Yeah, funny enough, Eddie and the Cruisers, right? So if I go over to here real quick, just to show you a quick, the patron segment. These are questions, topic ideas that they would like me to discuss. I'm going to quickly run through these. Now, I'll say Sean Sheridan, Dangers of Digital Media. I got a whole segment on that tonight. If you've been subscribed to Drumdums Extra, I have a segment over there called The Death of Physical Media. I've done 3 episodes. We're going to part 4. We're going to cover that tonight. Fun stuff. But Bet's idea at the bottom was fictional bands, and I couldn't resist. Guys, so tell me right now, think about a movie that has a fictional band in it that is really cool, okay? If you can't think of any, I got some for you, okay? I'm going to talk about Kiss tonight too, okay? Because Kiss just had the end of the road, their final concert. I got some thoughts on that, and they got a new era that they're wanting to discuss going forward. I got some more thoughts on that. We'll get into that, okay? I don't want to get too deep into the Kiss weeds right now. But, oh shit, Chris Snyder, good one. Icy Twat, good one. Good name too. The Green Room, yeah, dude, Green Room's one of my favorite freaking movies. I am not kidding. That is an amazing movie. Low Shoulder and Jennifer's Body. Damn. The Crow Brandon Lee Band, I might have that one on here. Man, Through the Trees. See, I can't sing that one. I will find you. Trying to find my what's the note I'm looking for? Yeah, that's a Low Shoulder though. That's a good song. I used to listen to that song like constantly, all the time. The Doors isn't a fictional band, Rosalia. What are you doing? Come on now. What about the band from That Thing You Do? Remember that band? The drummer, the guy that played the drums in the band, he had to learn for the movie. He'd never played the drums before. So, really good job. Well, first one, obviously Eddie and the Cruisers. John Cafferty Band actually played all the songs on that album. It's the John Cafferty Band that you hear. But Michael Pare, good-looking man that he is, his voice matches the singer of the John Cafferty Band perfectly. And I'll admit, when I saw this movie, and I was probably in my like 12 years old when I was Stand By Me age, when this movie came out, and I loved it to death. And I thought that they were actually the band, just because Michael Pare sounded so much like John Cafferty. I didn't find out until years later that he wasn't actually singing, but damn does he sing. And I think that's an important thing if you're doing a movie and you got a band in the background. Like, I think a one that they kind of screw it up, but the band's great. And we'll do that one next, actually. So we take off Eddie and the Cruisers. Let's go to this one right here. Let's go to this one. I'm moving around. Yeah. Remember Rockstar? Good movie. I like the movie Rockstar. And they had a couple of different singers for Mark Wahlberg to lip sync to. And the We All Die Young song. And I'm not even going to try to sing that high, okay? Mike Mativak, who was in the band Steelheart, he got the offer to sing for this movie. Now, Steelheart had been a band that had, they were consumed by grunge, right? They were an 80s band. I love Steelheart, by the way. Their first 2 albums are phenomenal. I think Mike Mativak, his voice is so good that it's undeniable, and they're still they're still performing to this day just because of how talented he is. He was too talented. Some people are too talented that they can transcend paradigm shifts, right? And he did that. You know, he eventually found his way back because his voice was so good that he's the guy that sang "We All Die Young." But Mark Wahlberg, his voice doesn't really match, Mike Machivek's, right? And I know I'm saying his last name wrong, but yeah. And there was another singer that he was kind of copying too. I think the guy from the Verve Pipe, something like that. But that was when in the later part of the movie when he switches kind of genres. But yeah, We All Die Young, Steelheart, man. I'm a huge Steelheart fan. Saw them in concert. They opened for Slaughter back in 1992. And I saw their very last concert with the original band because there was a horrific accident on stage and a lighting rig literally fell and flattened Mike Machivek like a pancake. And I was there in the audience. And I remember everybody was just like screaming, what the fuck is going on? We didn't know if this was part of the show, but yeah, it screwed him up really bad. He had to go to the hospital, and that pretty much ended that iteration of Steelheart. So yeah, I like Rockstar though. That's a really good movie. But yeah, if you look on the left there too, that's Zach Wilde. You got Jeff Pilson from Dokken. And then on the far right, you got Jason Bonham, John Bonham's son. Cool stuff. Okay, let's go to the next one. What about that guy, right? Isn't that the most awesome picture you've ever seen? Like, if studio heads were sitting around a meeting, a big table today, pitching ideas, and somebody said, you know what's missing? Oily, sweaty, shirtless guy with a sax, right? It doesn't sound right like it works, but somehow it does, because it fits in with the tone of the Lost Boys. Who cares what the name of that band was? Does anybody know, for extra points, does anybody know what the name of the Lost Boys band was? Was there even a name given to the band? I don't know. Extra points, though, if you guys know, okay? But yeah, next one. Somebody said Crow. There you go. Hangman's Joke, the fictional band in The Crow. Can't rain all the time. Can't rain all the time. Can't rain all the time. Yeah, the record skips. And I like the song too, but you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but is that song available anywhere? Was there ever a full version of that song ever recorded? I don't think so. And I think the only way you can hear that song is what's in the movie. That little bit. I don't know. Ooh, Rosalie, a good one. Guitar player from Mad Max. Yeah, they had a band. They had like a mobile band in Mad Max Fury Road, and that was one of the most awesome parts of the movie. Like he's playing his guitar, and he's on these like bungee cords, and he's like flying all around and everything, and it's just he's medaling out. It's awesome. Okay, next one. One of my favorites. There you go. Sammy Kerr taking over, doing the trick or treat. This is the thing I always remember. Remember when Sammy gets up on the stage and he does this? And then the crowd, like in unison, they start like clapping. And then all of a sudden the guitar comes in. Same old lead, everything's all right. Yeah, man. One of my all-time favorite 80s flicks. Sammy Kerr, what a badass. Freaking love Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat. And I don't think I still think Trick or Treat's underrated. Because I don't hear people talking about it enough. But, Dewey Cox. Good one, Wes. Good one. Dewey Cox. Yes. Guys, I'm so glad you mentioned Dewey Cox. Because that is one of the most slept on movies ever. Another movie that nobody ever talks about. Dewey Cox. Walk Hard. And it's a comfort movie for me. Like, I can throw it in any old day and just have such a blast watching it. It's so freaking hilarious. It's non-habit forming. I love that movie so much. Tim Meadows is so freaking funny in that. He's in the back and he's like taking PCP and he's smoking joints and he's snorting coke and he's telling Dewey all the right reasons to take the drug. It's a funny bit for sure. And this one might be everybody's favorite. Spinal Tap. Oh my God. That soundtrack is, and you know what? So many bands still to this day say the movie is pretty much truth as far as like what it's like to be in a rock and roll band. All the embarrassing tropes that come with being in a rock and roll band, you know, like one of my favorite scenes is when they're supposed to have this big stone structure behind them, and you know, because the stage is important. The stage has to be massive, you know, and the props and all that stuff, and then they order in inches instead of feet, and so the prop comes in and it's like this big. It's great. Dazed and Confused. Does Dazed and Confused have a fake band in the movie? Mikey Weiss, what's up, brother? How you doing? Dude, Mikey, you've never seen Trick or Treat? Oh my God, dude. You know what? Everybody's got that movie that they haven't seen, right? But I'm telling you right now, I cannot recommend Trick or Treat enough. And one of the greatest soundtracks like ever. Like rock metal soundtracks. Nothing be. Fastway did the entire album, and I still listen to it to this day. It's so good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Steel Water from Almost Famous. Almost Famous. Man, I tell you, that's a great movie. You know, just to see what it's like to be in like a 70s rock band, you know, living on the road, living that life. And you feel like you want to be on that bus with those guys. But, you know, kind of a true story, too, about Cameron Crowe when he was a Rolling Stone writer, when he was really young. So it's like semi true story. But, yeah. Another fun. I love like fake musician movies anyway. I like biopics too, but I think fake musician movies are even more fun because you can do anything, you know? You don't have to stay in the lines, right? Okay, so yeah, that's it for the fictional bands. Let's go down the patron segment real quick. Guys, and I might need some of your help with this. I did ask this question on Killer Flicks, Chris Brownell. 10 films that need a 4K release. 10 films that need a 4K release. Doesn't have to be horror. But, I mean, right off the bat, I think Friday, the only movie that's been given a 4K release, correct me if I'm wrong, is the first one. So, obviously, I would love to have a 4K release of that. If you go over to Halloween, you got Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. Those don't have a 4K release yet. Would love that. Of course, Nightmare on Elm Street. And I'm thinking, and the rumor is that Nightmare will have a 4K release this year. Could it be the first movie only? Could they actually do a box set? I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I would love that. But I mean, damn, there's so many examples of movies that need a 4K release, right? Blair Witch 2 Director's Cut 4K Zodiac Z. Polysis Near Dark, really good one. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, classic freaking movie. Black Xmas was one that was on the list too, 2006. Now, guys, let me ask you this. How many of you have the Black Christmas 2006 Blu-ray? Because it is out of print. And you can find different versions of it on eBay, but you'll need a region-free player, I think. Actually, I think there is one that's region-free, and it does have I think it's got the unrated cut or something like that. The version I have, and actually I have it right here. Let me grab it for you real quick. I'll show you the one I have. It's the Canadian release. And I'll make sure I don't step on Levi. Okay. Well, shit. Maybe I don't have. Maybe I took it downstairs with me. I think I did. But I think that version it's anywhere from like $50 to $80 or something like that. John Doe says the Rage Carry 2. That's one that I proudly have in my collection. I got the Blu-ray, and it is a beautiful, beautiful Blu-ray. I wish I had it right in front of me so I could show it to you, because I really... damn it. Yeah, I wish I could find that one. I love... Now, I think this is the Dawn of the Dead 4K. And thank God I jumped on this one because it was a quick little window. But man, what a great freaking movie. Deep Red would be a nice one to have on 4K. I don't think there's a 4K of that yet. Just looking through some of mine, but yeah, I mean, there's tons of movies that still. Now let me ask you guys this: do you need 4K, or are you content with Blu-ray, DVD? I'll even admit, sometimes I get in the mood to just watch a VHS movie. On Jolene over here, I'll throw a VHS in there. It depends on my mood, right? There is something kind of cool about watching a movie on an old beat-up TV on VHS, right? So I like it all. Next one, comedy and horror. Jeff Faust, comedy and horror. Some of my favorites, like, actually I'm going to be reviewing Anna and the Apocalypse. That's coming up. Dave Vanderhoff. I'm going to be doing that for him. I'm supposed to watch that this weekend, but that's a good comedy horror. Obviously, Shaun of the Dead, one of my favorites. Idle Hands is one of my favorite comedy horror movies. There's so many The Loved Ones, it's just a different flavor, right? I like comedy horror because it's light, it's fun. It can get bloody, right? It can get really bloody, but it's Horror and Coffee. What's up, man? How you doing? Nighttime says, I got VHS horror films that don't even got Blu-ray release. Yeah, that's another topic that we could have down the line. There are some VHS movies that don't have like I remember there was Rocktober Blood is a VHS that doesn't even have a DVD release. I think it's got like a bootleg Blu-ray or something like that, but I heard it's just like horrible quality, like horrible. It's pretty much like a VHS rip. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Chris, I cannot believe I still have not seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Zombieland is a really fun one. I will say this right now. I love serious zombie movies, but I think I might actually prefer comedy horror zombie movies. And oh my God, Return of the freaking Living Dead. Okay, Return of the Living Dead, one of my all-time favorite horror comedies. It is my all-time favorite horror comedy. Return of the Living Dead, except no substitutes, people. What's cool about that is you can go to Return of the Living Dead 3, and it's not a comedy. They went serious, which is kind of cool. But it's still equally effective. I love Return of the Living Dead 3. Yeah. Yeah, Nathan, I know, man. I definitely need to check it out. I definitely need to. Yeah, Rocktober Blood. Maniacs Lives. Yeah, dude. I love Rocktober Blood. So freaking fun. That's a movie that most of you probably haven't seen. I think there is a copy of it on YouTube. Okay? So, and you know what? That kind of goes right into my conversation that I'm going to have about physical media. Okay? But we'll get there. Lesser known Christmas movies. This could be, I'd say like The Ref is one that I don't hear people talking about too much. That's a fun lesser known Christmas movie. Christmas Horror Story is gaining in popularity. I'm hearing lots of people talk about Christmas Horror Story. I even though it's not technically set on Christmas, for some reason I do like to watch The Thing around like that time frame, just because the snow, right, and all that. You could even say like, what's a Christmas a movie that's not a Christmas movie, but for some reason you like to watch it around Christmas time. I like to watch The Thing around Christmas time. I do. American Psycho. Holy shit, good one, Brandon. I didn't think about that. Batman Returns. Batman Returns is probably those first 4 Batman movies. That's my favorite. I love Batman Returns. It definitely has its own unique flavor. Michelle Pfeiffer rocks in it. I used to I used to not like the movie as much as I do now, just because of I didn't like Danny DeVito's Penguin, but he's really grown on me. So yeah, Nighttime says, you seen any of the Maniac Cop or Psycho Cop films? I've reviewed the first Maniac Cop. I have not seen any of the other ones though. Now guys, tell me, is Maniac Cop 2 and 3, are they worth it? Because, you know, I kind of equate it to like RoboCop. Like RoboCop, the first one is just such a classic, but the the second one's horrible, and the third one is, oh my god, throw it off a freaking cliff, right? So I think I get a little bit gun shy with those B tier franchises. I usually only like to watch the first movie, you know, unless people are begging me to watch the second. I don't. So Maniac Cop 2 rules. Okay. Chris Snyder says Maniac Cop 2 is okay. 3 is a waste of time for me. Love the first. Yeah, I love the first. Love the first. Okay. Let me think of one more Christmas. Oh my God. Yeah, here you go. This quickly jumped up to one of my favorite Christmas horror movies. Christmas, Bloody Christmas. And I got the media book. I think this is the German media book. Look at the back. So freaking cool. I just love the Terminator vibes of this movie. But guys, this media book is insane. It's insane. And it's like, I'd say it's probably got like 20 pages in it. I mean, you got a full like article here on it. You know, this is stuff that, well, I mean, another reason to like support physical media. You don't get this shit with digital, okay? I mean, this is freaking awesome. It's Jeff Daniel Phillips, the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah. Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Well, what a movie. Matter of fact, I'm going to be watching that one again real soon. I'll be watching that one every freaking December. No doubt about it. Chris, yeah, Anna and the Apocalypse. I'm looking forward to watching that one. Definitely looking forward to watching that one. Okay, next topic. David Harrington, I'm going to tell you right now, I've done a top 10 Christmas horror movies, although I do need to kind of update that one because of some stuff that's come out. I've done unintentional Christmas horror or Christmas movies. We did that on the DDLIVE like a few months ago, and I put a clip of it out on the Drumdums Extra. Okay, if you're not subscribed to Drumdums Extra, definitely subscribe to that. That's where I put all these clips, you know, because people don't want to watch most of them. They don't want to watch a 2-hour live stream if they're looking for something. So I put those clips out so it's just easier to digest, right? So you can get like top 10 unintentional Christmas movies. And that was fun. That was really fun, actually. Brandon, he says top 10 rom-coms. I don't know if I can give you 10, but I like Love Actually in no particular order. Say Anything happens to be one of my favorites. Some Kind of Wonderful. Actually, that's my number one. Some Kind of Wonderful is I think my all-time number one rom-com. I love that movie. You give me really good characters, and you know, especially wanting to put them together like you had like a triangle, like a love triangle type thing going there, and the girl that he should have been in. Oh my God. Should have been with is right there in front of him, his best friend the whole time, you know, but he's after Amanda Jones, right? But the girl that he should have been with is right there. And John Hughes wrote it. Great freaking movie. Dave Vanderoff, what's up, brother? I was just talking about Anna and the Apocalypse. Okay. Yeah. 13 going on 30. Yep. That's a good one. Coming to America, my favorite. Oh man, I love Coming to America. You want to get you a good woman, you gotta go to church. That's where I'm going. Shit. You know, I saw Eddie Murphy's he has like a Christmas movie on Netflix now. Man, it's just horrible. It's horrible. And that's the thing. I love Eddie Murphy to death. I grew up on 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop. Those are like two of my favorite 80s movies. And I don't know. Like, and there's other Eddie movies that I love, of like Trading Places, Metro. I just reviewed Vampire in Brooklyn. But, man, his last couple movies, I think these movies that he's done for Netflix, I just haven't really gotten into them, okay? Yeah, Norbit, when he does, like, multiple characters, you know, Nutty Professor, he is funny as hell. But, yeah. Tango and Cash, that's not a rom-com. But, yeah, I like Tango and Cash. That's good. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we did all the Patreon topics. Guys, if you become a Drumdums patron, I'm going to be doing this every time I do a live stream. Okay, so a few days before the live stream, I'll put out a post. My patrons can give me anything you want me to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it just like I just did. Okay, really fun. And you guys don't steer me wrong. You always give me great fun stuff to talk about. And I had a blast, especially like fictional bands and movies. That's great stuff. I'm not smart enough to come up with that on my own. I depend on my patrons. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much, patrons, for all the support you guys give me. I love you guys to death. Okay, all right. Now since I have this up, let's talk about physical media real quick. Okay, death of physical media. Let me take a drink. We've only been going for 30 minutes. Jesus. Oh, maybe this guy's right. Hold on. Let me go over to the funnies here real quick. Just to give you a sneak peek at the funnies. I call this dumb troll, but I might be the one that's dumb. Okay. He said you talk too much. And you know, I get a variety of troll comments, but that one stumped me. I was like, wait, aren't I supposed to do that? You know, and I'm not patting myself on the back for my comment back. I wasn't being silly. I kind of have to. Like, otherwise I'd be doing silent reviews, right? I mean, do you want the opposite where you like don't talk at all? I don't know. Maybe he's saying I talk like I you know what? In his defense, I'll say this. Maybe if I had to critique myself, all right? Because I'm by no means a perfect reviewer. There's no such thing, I don't think. I do like to have more of a conversation about movies, and maybe that's what he means. I'm not, I guess, a textbook type of reviewer where I'm going to give you the pros and then the cons and then, you know, this and that. And I kind of like to make my reviews more of a conversation. And I still have a format that I go by. You know, I still say, hey, let me give you a quick plot synopsis. I always do that. And I do, in a way, tell you things I liked and I didn't like. But I don't like to kind of constrict myself into a format. And sometimes I'll just be going off the cuff. And I'll just, you know, like an idea from a movie will just pop in my head while I'm talking. I'm like, I want to talk about that right now. So I'll just do that. And you know what? My style's not for everybody. And I've even had people say that I'm their least favorite reviewers. And yeah, I probably agree with you. You know, my style's not for everybody. So I don't take that to heart. It doesn't hurt me. You know, I get both sides of it. I've had other people say they love my review style, and I appreciate that. I appreciate bad feedback too. I do. I kind of listen to it all. So, you know, if I'm, you know, setting aside the silliness of the post, I'm trying to decipher what he's actually trying to say. Now, I think what he could have done better, you know, maybe some constructive criticism to trolls who are going to tell me to go fuck myself anyway. I appreciate constructive criticism. So if you're going to leave a comment that you don't like what I do, maybe give me some constructive criticism. Say, hey, you know what? I don't like that you do this, this, and this. Maybe if you changed it up and you did this, this, and this, then, you know, and I might not listen to you and I might still do my own thing, which I probably will anyway. But I have in the past taken constructive criticism and I have adjusted my format and adjusted. If I felt like, you know what, they have a point. They have a point. I think I should do that, you know? When I first started doing YouTube, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And this is just an example. But one guy was like, you know what, I like your laid back style. But I think it would be better if you maybe put some clips to correspond with what you're talking about. And, you know, because at that time I was just putting images And some people don't mind images. Some people still do it to this day, and they're very successful. But I took that to heart, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try that. I'm actually going to. And so now, to this day, I use that. I pull trailer clips. I cut things up, and I try to give you visual representation of what I'm talking about. Okay? So, I don't know. I thought that was funny. And you know what? Maybe I learned something from it. I don't know. And maybe the troll learned something from it. Okay? Maybe I do talk too much. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking a lot now. Okay. Okay, let's talk about physical media real quick. Jesus. Did I pull an? I don't even think I pulled an image. I don't need an image. Okay. So I guess just to recap, we talk, the last couple of times we talked about Best Buy. This was coming. For the last year, every time I've went into Best Buy, it's getting more and more bleak. Those blue tubers. I'm not. I feel bad for those guys because one of my really, really, really good buddies who we started together, Durant Cinema. Shout out to Durant. Love Durant to death. Most charismatic guy in the world. And by the way, preface this by saying he's going to be just fine. He is a YouTube personality, and he is one of the most likable guys. When you watch his videos, you feel like you just want to hang out with him, right? He's just so fun and infectious. So I'm not worried about him, but what he does is he does the blue tuber, and he's the best at it, I think. There's a lot of blue tubers out there, but he is hilarious. He knows how to keep your attention, and he's just really fun and uninhibited. And did I say inhibited? Prohibitado? Yeah, and he'll just he's fearless when he goes inside like the Best Buy and the Target and all those. But he's such a good editor, and I feel bad for those guys that's not talking about Jesus, I'm having a freaking brain fart. What the hell? Not talking about Durant. Like I said, I'm not worried about Durant. Durant's going to be just fine. He'll find another way. But some of them that might not be as charismatic as Durant, and they kind of lean on this physical media type of video, they might have a tough time, at least going into the brick and mortar stores, because they're not going to be able to go to Best Buy after the beginning of the year. So what are they going to do? Just go to Walmart and Target? I don't know. It's getting rough. And after my last couple of clips that I put out on Drumdums Extra, I had one commenter in there. He was just like, dude, no, physical media isn't going anywhere. I'm not saying physical media is going to die. I'm saying physical media is going to be niche. Physical media is not going to be mainstream anymore. I would put money on it at the rate we're going right now. It's going to be niche. Hell, even vinyl was niche for a long time. And it's still not like... I think vinyl might be the number one music format for physical media. Obviously it doesn't beat out digital, but vinyl has overtaken CDs and obviously everything else. So I think physical media will always be around and it'll always be a niche thing, but I think a lot of things are going to go out of print. That's what I'm thinking, Yeah, I think, how they just constantly create supply, but they have to have the demand. And if less people are buying, and let's face it, Joe Sixpack doesn't care. Joe Sixpack's like, you know what? I'm just going to roll with the changes. Okay, physical media is not really that easy to get anymore. I got this whole digital thing over here. I can save space. Yeah, I'll roll with the punches and I'll go digital. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying the masses are going to roll with the tide, right? Roll Tide. There's not enough of us to keep physical media, A tier in the mainstream. It's going to be niche. It's happening. I can see it happening now. So the latest update was, I saw this thing, Sony PlayStation Network. You could rent movies through there. And I saw somebody, was it Piz? I think, Pizel, I think he posted that a title that he bought, he got a notification, it's no longer there. Take a second to think about that, guys. Because now this is a different type. Carly, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Because now this is a different animal. Now we're talking about your money. Piz, he actually paid for a movie. Money came out of his pocket and he paid for a movie. And now that company is basically telling him, your movie that you bought, we don't have it anymore. It's gone. Okay? And by the way, you're not getting your money back. Right? That's what's happening. He can't hold that piece of that movie that he bought. He can't, sell it to anybody. It's gone. It has vanished. And this is not a good thing. All right, this is a scary thing for people that like to have a collection. And I know, like Chris Snyder, he has a great digital collection in there, but there is no guarantee that collection will be there forever. There are things I've heard that you can do to back it up. Like you can put your collection offline. Some services will let you maybe download it. But even that, I think there's no guarantee. Because if their server, like somebody was telling me that they were able to download something, but they still weren't even able to watch it, right? Like the file was not even there. It was gone into the ether, So, if we want to make this shift to digital, if we have to go that way, don't make it to where we can't have a collection, right? Don't put that fear out there that, hey, I just bought, I didn't, but I'm just speaking hypothetically. Like if I just bought Tenebrae on digital, and Tenebrae, the physical media goes out of print. This is gone. This is no more. Say bye-bye to this. Now all I have it is on the digital release. And if that goes away, which it can, then I don't have this anymore. So here's the thing. This right here, you hear that? You can't do that. You can't pluck digital media, right? This is here forever. Forever. It never goes anywhere, And I did talk about there's like disc rot, but that doesn't even, that's like maybe a freaking fraction of a percent of movies that actually have digital. This is forever as long as you take care of it. Okay. Or let's say freaking, I don't know, 20, 30 years, whatever. This is almost forever. It's probably your lifetime, right? You could probably pass it down to your freaking kids and I could give Delilah this, Hey, Delilah, here you go. You can have Tenebrae, That's the thing that I love about physical media. So, yeah, that's the latest update with physical media. And I got a feeling the news isn't going to get any better, right? It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And again, first world problems. Some people don't even care about having a movie collection. Some people don't care about having movies at all, Having a movie collection in and of itself is niche, okay? Again, first world problems, but it matters to me. It definitely matters to me. And there are already movies that are they're gone from existence. It's already happening, right? They might have a physical release out there, sitting in an attic somewhere that somebody has, maybe on a VHS or something like that, or maybe even a DVD. But if they're out of print, there's no guarantee that they're going to be on digital. They have bigger fish to fry on digital. They're going to want titles that are going to be dependable and sell. They're not going to want Rocktober Blood. Okay? Not saying that Rocktober Blood isn't on digital. It might be. I don't think it is. It might be. I don't know. And that's not including YouTube, okay? Because YouTube, there's no guarantee of a good quality rip on YouTube. And there's no guarantee that that's going to stay there, because all you got to do is hit delete and boom, it's gone. Or YouTube can say, we don't like this here, right? Copyright owners don't like this. Boom, gone. So, yeah. I'm beating a dead horse. I'm preaching to the choir for most of you, but that's the scary thing we're looking at with digital media, So, yeah. Let me take a drink. And do we want to go into the funnies? I got topics though. I'm going to talk about, we'll do funnies, and then I'll talk about Kiss. Dave Vanderhoff, you might want to stick around. We're going to be talking about Kiss, okay? End of the road. That's going to be fun. That's delicious. Beef noodle hearty. All right, let's do funnies. Let's do funnies. Okay? And let me put on some music. Hold on. We played. Let's do Season in Hell. Hold on. From Eddie and the Cruisers. Did you guys like that opening song? I love the Eddie and the Cruisers song. All right. Let's go to the funnies. Let's do some funnies. All right. All right, here we go. All right, guys, let me know if the music is too loud. Okay, first one. This is called YouTube Secret. YouTube Secret. And I'm guilty of this too. That's I wonder if that was the first, the very first YouTube video. When did this whole trend start? When did that trend start where you gotta act like, you pretty much gotta act like an iguana bit you in the nuts, That's pretty much what you have to do. You got to make that face for every video, okay? And then is the viewer supposed to think, oh, is there something in this, this video, usually it's like reaction videos. Is there something in this movie that causes the viewer to have that face? I saw one today, I won't say the channel name, but they were doing a reaction to Hunger Games. And I'm just like, we've all seen Hunger Games. There's nothing in that movie that's going to make you say this face. Or show this face, sorry. There's nothing. But, and again, I do it too, okay? You got to make the stupid, silly face. For some reason, it does something to your brain and makes you want to click on the video. I don't know why, but it does it, all right? All you, when you see that face, what do? You click on the fucking video, don't you? Freaking bastards. Jesus. That's and you know what? It'll never die. That will be the secret ingredient for the end of time. And I think YouTube needs a paradigm shift. I think that's what, we're insulting the audience's intelligence, okay? It's hilarious though. This one's called Scream Fan Crisis. Remember this? Scream Fan Crisis Counseling. My name is Laura. How can I help you? And this was because of the whole Melissa Barrera thing. And everybody lost their freaking minds on X. And I did too. I'll agree. I definitely lost my shit. How dare they? But then, you know how it is. Anytime big news comes around, we all lose our shit and we go crazy. And then 3 days later, we're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and we're watching episodes of The Incredible Hulk, right? At least that's what I do. Yeah. So, but yeah, everybody went crazy. Okay, this one's a Gee Whiz one. I just saw this picture today. I've never seen this picture. This is from Rocky 4. I've never seen. Carly said she would call that line. Okay. Yeah. I've never seen that picture before. Isn't that cool? Rocky 4. Stallone with his then wife, Brigitte Nielsen. You know, and I think that's the only time you'll ever see Dolph Lundgren smile, at least in that era, right? God, I love Rocky 4. Now, those that have seen the director's cut, you guys, by the way, you can thank COVID, because if not for COVID, we would have never got the Rocky 4 director's cut. The only reason that happened is because Stallone, he needed something to do. He was bored, You gotta keep the engine going. You gotta keep moving, right? And he thought, hey, you know what? I got some downtime. I'll just do a director's cut of Rocky 4. And I don't like it. I mean, it's got some pros about it, but I much prefer the theatrical. I think the rhythm's just completely thrown off. There's some weird decisions in there, and the fight is not as good as the theatrical. The only thing I like better, I think, is the Apollo's fight. Pretty much Apollo in general. I think they handle Apollo better. But the theatrical is just, overall, it's just a better movie. It flows better. I think all the right cuts are in the theatrical version. Okay. PS3, guys, I've dug out my old PS3. Yeah, you ever, you're in your garage, if you have a garage, and you find stuff that's been in a box for freaking 5 years, and then all of a sudden you're going down memory lane, and that's what happened to me. I was just kind of digging through, and I found my old PS3, and the reason I bought that is because I'm not a gamer. I bought that because of the Blu-ray player. Because remember when Blu-ray first came out, and they had Blu-ray and HD DVD. The look and sound of perfect. And I went purple. I actually bought an HD DVD player and a Blu-ray player. But I think there's a few different reasons why Blu-ray won that deal. One is because Blu-ray, I think, had the more important studios, they had Disney, they had... I think Disney was one of the big ones. They had a couple of the other studios too. Warner Brothers were kind of they were doing both formats, and then Universal were strictly tied to HD DVD, I believe. And then Universal, when they decided to go Blu-ray as well, then that was it. Blu-ray had won. And then when the PS3 came out and gamers were buying the PS3, they automatically had a Blu-ray player. So the PS3 was a pivotal benchmark in that war between HD DVD and Blu-ray. You're bored to death, I know it. But I found my old PS3 and I cleaned it up and I shined it. It looks nice. And I plugged it in. And the damn thing still works. It's loud as fuck, but it still works. It sounds like... It sounds like one of those really loud fans, because it has a really loud fan. So, Nighttime, thank you. He says, when Zack Snyder's 300 came out on Blu-ray and PS3 came out in 2006, life was literally perfect. You know what? 300 was a benchmark title during that war, I remember, because it was released on both HD DVD and Blu-ray, and I bought the HD DVD. I placed a bet. I thought, for some reason, my dumb ass thought that HD DVD might win. So I bought 300, and I was excited. That was a big one. 300. I think that was one of the big titles that made the shift, too. But I just remember it looked amazing. HD 3. I was like, wow, this is freaking awesome. I think maybe you had more special features on the Blu-ray too. I'm trying to remember. Okay. Good question though, Nighttime. Okay. One more on the Melissa Barrera thing. They said, I saw this. More than 1,300 actors and artists have signed a letter condemning censorship against speaking out. Okay, I think we're back. Let me see, hold on. All right, quick test. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Let me know. Brandon says, yep, you're back. Okay, good. All right, we'll move on to the next one. That's too political. We don't want to talk about that. All right. Did you see the new Lego for George Lucas? It says George Lucas with $4.05 billion. And see, my question is, like, all those Legos for the money, like, how do you put that together? Do you put that together? I don't know. That's a bad joke. Jeff Kugel, you got to give him a shout out. He posted this one. The crossover that you never knew you needed, but now you want really bad. Somebody said they should do like an updated, like a new Home Alone movie with Macaulay Culkin. And he's like an assassin or something like that because he was so good at booby traps. And maybe turn it into like The Collector, you know? Like maybe Kevin is the collector. That'd be kind of fun. Right? This next one's called Girlfriend's Attention. How to get your girlfriend's attention. Listen up, guys. All you single people out there in the chat, listen up, okay? How do you get your friend's attention? Hey, what was the show your dad was telling us about? The time travel one. My ex stopped by at work today. What did she want? She wanted to know what the show your dad was telling us about was called. That's called psychology, okay? Psychology. That's how you do that, right? You got to say something that like sparks the trigger, and then boom, you're back. Okay. Dial 911. What was that? Dial 911. Oh, I remember what this was. Okay. This is for those that have seen Die Hard with a Vengeance. Halloween Ends is the best Halloween franchise installment. Dial 911. Tell the police to get up here quick. Somebody's about to get killed. So true. There's no, in the horror community, there's no more triggering sentence than Halloween Ends is the best Halloween. Or just, it doesn't have to be that. It can be, I like Halloween Ends. Boom, that's it. There's your trigger right there. I like Halloween. How dare you like Halloween Ends, okay? How dare you? And that's how that happens. Okay. Now, this was one of those happy accidents. This is my sweet Delilah. And, I called that Delilah Felissa because actually my daughter took that picture. And I was like, oh my God, that's sleepaway camp. That looks like sleepaway camp. So that was a happy accident. A happy accident. Last one. Now, did we talk about this last time? I can't remember. And real quick, have you guys heard any kind of updates on the new Alien movie? It says officially August 16th, 2024 in theaters. Alien Romulus. So, hopefully we'll start seeing some images from that. I would guess, probably within like beginning of next year, we'll start seeing some images. We'll probably get a trailer. Probably like springtime. But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm an Alien freaking fanatic. I love Alien. You give me Xenomorph, I'm happy all day. Okay, I just love that world. Yeah. Dave Vanderhoff, dude. Yeah. I cannot believe Ralph Cirella died. I was, you know what? All right, that's enough about Alien. All right, let me go over here. Let's talk about Ralph Cirella real quick. Jesus. So I listen to Howard, pretty much Howard Stern, on my trips to work every day, and usually he has like new episodes Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And on your, on your display, I listen to it on the app on my phone. I have it in my car, and it shows up on my car on my Bluetooth, and it says what the topic is. Really convenient. And I get in my car first thing in the morning, about to head to work. Topic pops up. Rest in peace, Ralph Cirella. And I was like, what? You ever do that? Like, you hear about somebody passing and it's just like out of nowhere. It's not because of old age. It's, because Ralph was like 58, which to me is still pretty young. Okay. I'm 50. I'm 8 years away from that. But, his heart gave out. He was having some kind, I heard he got lymphoma, but they kept it hush hush, I guess, but I guess he got it like a couple months ago. And then he had to go in for a procedure that should not have taken his life. But, Howard said he didn't really take care of himself like he should have. And, that's why when you get older, you gotta watch what you eat. Try to take care of yourself. Try to exercise. And believe me, I'm no freaking, I have my own. I'm drinking Monster as I'm saying this, okay? Believe me, I'm not blind to my own truth. But, man, it sucked that Ralph passed away. He was one of those, he was one of those characters on the Howard Stern show that really liked to push buttons. Constantly pushing buttons. Constantly in fights with everybody and arguing with everyone. And, every time Ralph came on, you think you hated him, but you're entertained. And that's the whole point of any character on the Howard Stern show. To me, my favorite character is probably Ronnie the limo driver. If they have Ronnie on there, I'm locked in. I gotta listen to every freaking word he's saying because he's freaking hilarious. I think those that are serious and they're unintentionally hilarious are the best characters. The ones that are trying to be funny, that come up with their own bit, they're not as funny as the ones that are accidentally hilarious. And that's Ronnie the limo driver. Okay? But Ralph always had good feedback. He was fearless. He definitely told exactly what he thought. He went for the jugular most of the time. And, every time he called in, I was like, okay, I want to hear what Ralph's got to say. Somebody's about to get in a fight, and that's why I liked Ralph. But, it's sad. It's sad when anybody passes away, and a lot of people on the Howard Stern show have passed away over the last decade. Like Eric the actor was one of my favorites. Loved Eric the actor. He was just the little bitty guy, and he was the biggest asshole in the world. And there's a few other whackpackers that have passed away too. But yeah, Hank the Angry Dwarf, he was probably one of the first. But yeah, heck. Bigfoot it is. Bigfoot's great. The mailman story. I love Bigfoot. Guys, some of you don't watch Howard, you don't listen to Howard, you don't know what I'm talking about, but I have been listening to Howard since the mid-90s, when I was in the military, and we'd be, I was in civil engineering, and we did carpentry, and we would have the big boom box, and we'd have Howard Stern playing, Artie was great, Mikey. That was so sad. I remember listening to that when that all unfolded with Artie, and it was, wow, I couldn't believe it. And it was just so tragic because Artie's he was really quick-witted and funny as could be. But underneath all that was this guy that was just kind of tortured, had his own demons. And I think a lot of comedians are like that. They have their own demons, and that's why they're so funny, It's like dark humor. I think I like dark humor better than any other type of humor. I don't know, but yeah. Ralph Cirella, man, I can't believe he's gone. That's crazy. He was literally just I think a couple weeks ago I heard him on the show. Sounded healthy, but you never know, Pretty insane. Let's talk about Kiss, real quick. I got to talk about this because I have some thoughts on it. I was going to play you the little video, but you know what? I'm not going to play the video. But I will show you. Let me go to... I always like to give you guys some kind of visual representation. Okay. Kiss, a new era begins. For those of you that might not know, I'm a massive Kiss fan. I've been a Kiss fan for ages. You know, funny enough, I wasn't, like, I jumped on in the 80s. That's when I really got into Kiss with, like, Lick It Up, you know. I think that's when I jumped on, was Lick It Up, and then I went so far, and then I went back and started listening to everything up to Lick It Up. And funny enough, my favorite album of theirs is the album before Lick It Up, Creatures of the Night. Creatures of the Night was the era of Kiss where they were at their lowest. And that's the reason why they took off the makeup in the first place, is because, as Paul Stanley said, they didn't have a choice. You know, it was either that or death. It wasn't like, hey, this is a cool move to take off the makeup. It wasn't a choice. They had to do, you know, they were in a corner. You know, in America, Kiss were dead, you know. So they took off the makeup. And I actually love the non-makeup era. So before I get into my problems with this whole thing that we see here, one of those guys there is Eric Singer. And I'm a huge Eric Singer fan. Love freaking Badlands. Love Alice Cooper. He was in Alice Cooper. He's played for stuff that I'm not even aware of. Eric Singer was kind of a hired gun for quite a while, and he's a phenomenal drummer. And I'm here to say this right now: Eric Singer, far better drummer than Peter Criss. Okay, he's top notch. But anyway, don't let me get ahead of myself. Let me take a drink here. And yes, Dave, the Revenge is one of their best albums. And Eric's drumming on that album is really great. Really great. But they ended up putting the makeup back on in 96. You know, kind of for the same reason. They were drying up in the non-makeup. You can only take that so far. We all know what Kiss is known for, the makeup. So they ended up putting back on the makeup. And they got all 4 original members back. You had freaking Ace Frehley, Peter Criss, Paul Stanley, and Gene Simmons. That, to me, with the makeup, is Kiss. With one caveat. One caveat as far as makeup goes. The Ankh makeup that Vinnie Vincent wore is fine. And the Fox makeup that Eric Carr wore was fine. Because it was a different character. Okay? So I had no problem with that whatsoever. The problem I had, and this is just me, okay? You know, when you're taking makeup that Peter Criss and Ace Frehley created on their own. They created the cat makeup and the spaceman makeup. You know? As far as legally, they don't own the makeup, obviously, because you got 2 other guys wearing it. But, you know, you had Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer wearing Ace and Peter's makeup. For this reason, I refused to ever watch Kiss in concert again. My own personal choice. You could go and watch Kiss in makeup, and you'd probably have the time of your life. You would probably enjoy the hell out of it. It's great, okay? I've seen Kiss, all 4 members original members in makeup in '99. One of the greatest concert experiences I've ever had in my entire life. It was amazing seeing Ace Frehley doing his guitar solo, shooting rockets out of the guitar, seeing Peter Criss do his iconic drum solo that he does for 100,000 years. Bells and whistles, people. It was all there. It was freaking amazing. Those guys can't get along to save their lives, okay? I don't have a problem with that. I'm not saying you need to be together. No, bands break up all the time. That's fine. I don't even have a problem with Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer putting back on that makeup. That's the choice of the band, and I just choose not to see it. That's my own personal choice, but it is what it is, right? And I don't even harbor any ill will towards Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer, because they're collecting a check. They're a really nice, hefty check, right? God bless them. Here's where I have a problem, okay? Here's where I have a problem. Kiss just had their final concert. I watched some clips from it today, actually. This is not the Kiss. By the way, I saw Kiss without makeup in the Revenge tour back in '92. One of the greatest freaking concerts I've ever seen in my life. So I've seen Kiss without makeup, with Eric Singer, and with makeup. Just from looking at some clips from the final show of Kiss, okay? This is it. This is the end. It was kind of sad. It looked like, and more importantly, it sounded like four old dudes that were trying to keep up. That's what it sounded like. Whereas they were freaking legends back when I saw them back in the day. But one of the things I had a really big issue with was there was a guitar solo with Tommy Thayer. I was like, oh, Tommy's going to do a guitar solo. I'm sure he's got his own style. He'll do his own guitar solo, right? Like Vinnie Vincent did. When Vinnie Vincent wore the makeup back in the day, he did his own guitar solo. And, it was a Vinnie Vincent guitar solo. Love Vinnie Vincent. Tommy Thayer did Ace Frehley's guitar solo. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He's doing Ace Frehley's guitar. That's Ace's. So that was one problem, but that's not even the biggest problem. What you see right there, that is the biggest problem, because they made this announcement that there's going to be this new era, right? I do think we've seen the very last Kiss concert. I don't think they're going to perform as human beings live again. But I will say, to their credit, Gene and Paul have talked about this idea for, I think at least maybe a decade, maybe even longer. The idea that Kiss will never die. Kiss will live on. The idea back then was that 4 new members would don the makeup, because the makeup is bigger than the actual people, right? And I get it. It's business, you're going to make, in their mind, you're going to make a lot of money doing that. How you approach that, because then you just got a Kiss covers band, right? I always ask myself that, like, what are they talking about? There's tons of Kiss covers bands right now. Tommy Thayer was in a Kiss covers band before he got into Kiss. If you change out the members, it's not Kiss. It's a Kiss covers band. So, this is what they meant, I guess. And maybe this is the idea that they had all along. They were going to do like digital mocap, I think that's what you call it, versions of themselves. They actually all got into these mocap suits, and they did, they rendered digital versions of themselves, and then they put out this video showing them, looked like a science fiction type video or whatever. That's fine and dandy. I don't care. No, I don't think that's going to be that successful. Nobody's going to want to watch. It's almost like watching a hologram at a concert, but now you got 4 holograms. I don't know. Maybe it's a Vegas act. Maybe that's what they're thinking of. But here's the problem I have. Okay, here's the problem I have. They rendered Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer's face. It's plain as day. And Paul and Gene stated, you won't be able to tell because of the makeup. Bullshit. Right there, that is freaking Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer's face. It sounds silly, but I have a major problem with that. Because if, let's just say hypothetically, this is really successful, and it lasts for 100 years. For the next 100 years, Kiss will be known as those faces. The Catman will be known as Eric Singer's face, and the Spaceman's face will be Tommy Thayer's. That bugs the shit out of me, because those faces belong to Peter Criss and Ace Frehley. Nobody else. You want to put 2 other guys in that makeup to play concerts? That's fine. I'm not going to go see it. but that's fine. I got no problem with it. But for those characters to live on for eternity, and it's going to be those two faces and not Ace and Peters, that's just... Guys, can you hear me? I see somebody saying sound out. Can you hear me? Let me know, guys. I see Dustin. He's saying he's not hearing me. Let me check and make sure. Hold on. No, I'm seeing that I'm up there. I'm seeing that I'm up there. Hold on. I just want to make sure. Now, Brandon says he can hear me. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you so much. So, Dustin, it must be on your end. It must be on your end. So, Dustin, you hit me at the right time, though, because that's pretty much my Kiss stuff. So, yeah. That that's my opinion. I don't think you should be going forward with any other faces except Ace Frehley and Peter Criss. That's just me. It's kind of a joke at this point, right? And I think I stated earlier I have no problem with Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer, but now I kind of have a problem because if it were me. And, I'm guessing they're probably going to make money off of this, even though it's not technically their image that they're... Like, how is money to be made if you're using the image of two other people? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I think Eric and Tommy should have took a stand and said, okay, we're at the end of this. We're not doing any more shows. I have a problem with putting on Ace and Peter's makeup for a digital version of the character that's going to last for the rest of eternity. I don't know. That's me. I would have a problem with doing that. And I would grow some balls and I would tell Paul and Gene, thanks but no thanks. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. This was fun. I got to perform with Kiss. This was great. But I have a big problem with being those characters for the rest of eternity, when that clearly belongs to Ace and Peter. If Ace and Peter didn't create those characters on their own, different story. But no, they created those characters. And that's bullshit. Okay, there we go. Yep. That's right, Dave. It's all for the money for the Kiss machine. There you go. Okay. And that's a good transition because I did want to talk a little bit about band feuds. And this is just a topic that kind of popped up in my head because I was thinking about this whole Mick Mars thing. And really, I guess the idea that a lot of bands, don't be surprised if there are bands that none of the members really care for each other after so many years. It's a paycheck, and it's a big paycheck. And when you have so much money on the line, then you're going to put aside those differences, and you're going to, you're going to perform, and you're going to act like you like each other, right? Recently, there's this big story with Hall & Oates. I was a big fan of Hall & Oates. I always liked their music, Maneater, right? Sarah, a lot of great songs. But Daryl Hall is suing John Oates because John Oates, he's older and he wants to sell the rights to his music, his side of the music. And you might think that Daryl Hall wrote most of the songs, but it's kind of 50-50 from what I'm hearing. And at least all the big hits, it's more of a 50-50 type deal. So I guess Daryl Hall is suing John Oates, though, because John Oates is like, I'm up there in age, I'm ready to sell my catalog, and Daryl Hall has a problem with that. But the reason I bring this up is not because of that ordeal, but the bombshell that I heard out of all this was that Daryl Hall and John Oates never really liked each other. I'm sure like when they started, they liked each other, but for a good number of years, they've never been like friends, They're more business associates. But I don't think there's like hostility between the two. There might be now because of this lawsuit, but they just coexist with each other, right? But then you have other bands, and you take like Oasis, the Gallagher brothers. Those guys, they hate each other, and they've hated each other for like the last, I think, 20 years, something like that. And I think Noel Gallagher stated that he's actually for putting the band back together, but there's always like one that's just not for it. There's always one that's angrier than the other, right? And I think Liam is the angrier one, and I think part of that is because maybe there's some resentment there because Noel wrote all the songs, right? And Liam sang just about all of them. So I guess there's just kind of this push and pull between them. Wes Blandford, he says Lamb of God, but I love Lamb of God. Yeah, Lamb of God's awesome. That's a band where they have some like infighting. Like I know when they first got together, the lead singer, he got into like a fist fight with one of their first guitarists. This shit. Motley Crue though, I was talking about like Mick Mars, and that kind of shocked me because I thought Mick was like really close with the other guys, but it seems like it's always been kind of a Nicky and Tommy are kind of in their own little camp. Vince is always doing his own thing, and Vince even stated like all four members don't really like each other. They all have separate like tour buses, and they basically just walk on stage, and that's like the first time they see each other. It's a business transaction. Whereas, and maybe that's why there's no real like passion in their music. Maybe that's why they don't really make new music that much anymore. Whereas when they started, I mean, it was just, you could tell that there was a lot of passion, amongst each other. Carly brings up White Zombie. Good example. Rob Zombie, this is one of those cases sometimes where one person is too big for the rest of the band. Chris, I'm going to get to your question there in a sec. I want to address that. But in the case of White Zombie, like Carly's saying there, Rob Zombie got way too big for the rest of the band. And I think he wrote all the songs. He's this successful director. It was just one of those situations where they're going in opposite paths, and the band, they don't really have much of a stake in the music as much as Rob Zombie did. And I think they felt hurt and they wanted to continue, but Rob Zombie was just like, no. As soon as he put out his first solo album, and I think his solo album did better than the White Zombie albums, he was like, okay, I'm going solo from now on, So, before I get to Chris's question, another example, Smashing Pumpkins. I know that Billy Corgan, another situation where he was more talented than the rest of the band, wrote all the songs, and I think it's dangerous when you have one person that writes all the songs. Because it's a situation where they don't need the other members, and then the other members, they start feeling really like small and self-conscious, and that's what happened. Like Darcy and James Iha, they would record their parts, and then after they left, Billy Corgan would come in and re-record their parts. He would play the bass and he would play the rhythm guitar because he's just a perfectionist, and that caused resentment in the band. I love this stuff. If I could recommend a YouTube watch, go watch Billy Corgan's interview with Joe Rogan. It's enthralling. It's fascinating, and it's so eye-opening, and he's very honest and upfront about his own mistakes and what caused that band to kind of tear apart. Hell, I even, and I'm just thinking out loud here, but like Dave Grohl, most people don't realize this. Dave Grohl was the 6th drummer for Nirvana. So if you go back and you kind of watch like interviews when Dave Grohl was in the band, it felt to me like Dave Grohl felt a little bit like an outsider to the other two guys because they had been in Nirvana for the whole time. So he gets in this band. He is the best drummer, hard hitter. And then Kurt Cobain dies. And so that legacy is tied to you, this guy who was the 6th drummer in the band, And I mean, I'm trying to think of a way to say this tactfully, but boy, did he made a boatload of money off of the legacy of Nirvana. And I'm not saying that in a bad way at all. You know, he just, luck of the draw, right? I mean, those Nirvana albums, still this day, they sell a lot of copies. And Dave Grohl's tied to that, you know? So, but yeah, what Chris was talking about is, have you guys, and I got a question for you guys right now, okay? Actually, it's me asking you questions. It's not you asking me questions, all right? Right now, give me your favorite biopic, all right? And that's a tough question. There's a lot of great biopics out there, okay? Give me your favorite biopic. Now, while you're answering that question, Chris was talking about The Dirt. I like The Dirt. It's fun. But here was my issue with The Dirt, and it's a personal issue. I knew everything that was in that movie anyway. I followed Motley Crue's career since the 80s. I mean, hell, I remember going to the mall back in like 86 and buying like a whole bunch of cassettes and like one of those cassette cases. And one of the cassettes I bought was Shout at the Devil. And man, I would just play it constantly, you know. And, you know, so I watched all the documentaries on Motley Crue. I watched what was the one that had the paper bag for the cover? Was it Exposed? I can't remember. I think it was Exposed. Motley Crue. Dave Vanderhoff might know what I'm talking about. Remember that documentary, Dave, back in the 80s? And, you know, it's got all four members in the studio, and they're talking about, we might look like chicks, but we'll still kick your ass, you know? It was when the band was really young. But I've watched every documentary. So when I watched The Dirt, I knew everything, you know? It was one of those situations where I didn't really learn anything. I knew every bit, and that's my own fault, you know? Most people, they're probably not going to know everything, but I knew Motley Crue verse and scripture up to that point. So I think the best biopics, they even surprised the Exposed. Well, Kiss Exposed was, yeah, that's Kiss Exposed. What was the one for Motley Crue? Damn it, I can't remember. Somebody look that up for me. There was a Motley Crue documentary. It was on VHS back in the 80s, and it came out after Theater of Pain, I think. Which, by the way, one of my favorite Motley Crue albums, Theater of Pain. I think that album's so friggin' underrated. Love it to death. It's just got an edge to it, right? It's like, I think obviously Shout at the Devil's the best album. But I love the edge of Theater of Pain. So, nobody knows the name of that damn documentary? Damn it. Okay. But, yeah, so I like The Dirt. It's fine. You know, it's not my favorite biopic. Yeah, Goodfellas is kind of a biopic. I guess what I'm talking about is like a music biopic, right? A music biopic. Blow, yeah. I mean, it's a true story. I think there's a difference between a true story and a biopic, okay? Well, I'll tell you right now, I'll give you two of my favorite, or I'll give you three of my favorites for biopics, all right? In no particular order. I love What's Love Got to Do with It? The Tina Turner story. I think that story is enthralling because this is a woman that had a career and then she lost everything through a divorce, but she got out of a really bad abusive situation. And then she comes back stronger than ever, and she's already too old. She's in her 40s, and she has this massive, successful solo career. And that documentary, it just outlines all of that beautifully, and it's tragic, and you see all the hell that she went through with Ike Turner, and you just feel bad for her. And by the way, I watched the recent documentary on Tina Turner on HBO, and she said she can't watch the movie. She's never watched the movie. She says because it just opens too many wounds, you know. But Angela Bassett, wow, phenomenal job. Nicholas Vincent, Lords of Chaos. Man, I'm scared to even mention that movie because I like Lords of Chaos. I think it's a really great biopic. But I reviewed the movie. I didn't really know much at all about Mayhem other than hearing of the band and how dangerous they were. But, man, I had a lot of black metal fans coming into my comments just freaking throwing mud at me. Like, how dare I review this movie? This is trash. This is not the truth at all. Okay. Still like the movie. It was fine. You know? I'll say this right now. It's Hollywood. You know? Biopics are rarely ever told, 100% truthfully. Right? Because you have to entertain it. The first goal of any movie, let it be a biopic, an action movie, drama, whatever, is to entertain an audience. Okay? If you tell it documentary style, this was their early career, this is what happened in the middle, the rise, and then the fall, and then blah, 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 you're going to bore your audience, You have to entertain an audience when you make a movie. And that's the way I looked at Lords of Chaos. I didn't know if everything was true or not, but it was shocking, enthralling, and unlike any other biopic I have ever seen in my entire life. And that is saying something. So, yeah. Extreme Close-Up, yep. I bought every freaking VHS that Kiss put out back in the day. Like I said, I was a fan of the non-makeup years, and I supported everything they put out. And Extreme Close-Up was kind of a tie-in with the Live 3, I think. And it was just kind of a funny, on-the-road I preferred Exposed, but Extreme Close-Up was still really good. Actually, it wasn't Exposed the full-on documentary. No, I think you're right. I think that's Extreme Close-Up. There's like 3 different Kiss documentaries in the 80s. And one of them is them. It's a documentary of their career. And I think that's my favorite documentary of their career. And then they had like Second Coming when they got back together and put on the makeup. Yeah. David Thorson, he says that's why Bruce Lee was fighting a demon samurai in Dragon. Thank you very much, David. Yeah. Most, if not all, biopics are going to take liberties, okay? And I promised you 2 other biopics that I really loved, okay? Because I forget things all the time. Control, the story of Ian Curtis from Joy Division. It's more centered on Ian Curtis than it is the whole band, but the whole band's in it too. But it's told in black and white because most of the images that we see of Joy Division are black and white. So, love that biopic. That's one of my favorites. And then Coal Miner's Daughter. I've always been a big fan of Coal Miner's Daughter. There might be a little bit of nostalgia there. But, I don't know. It's just, I just loved Loretta Lynn as a character. You couldn't help but fall in love with her. How naive she was. Tommy Lee Jones just freaking slays that role. Again, it's a great movie. It entertained. Did every single note in that movie happen exactly like it's presented? I don't know. Probably not. But it's one of the most unique biopics. I loved the story. I loved how naive Loretta Lynn was. And how her career, you just couldn't help but love her as a person, kind of has that. I don't think there's been a Dolly Parton biopic, and I love Dolly Parton to death. The Rose, I hear, was based on Janis Joplin. I've heard The Rose is kind of loosely based on Janis Joplin. Yeah, Confidential. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, there's Kiss Confidential, Kiss Extreme Close-Up, and then Kiss Exposed. And I had all 3 of those on VHS. Yes. Plenty of Kiss talk tonight. Okay. Extreme Close-Up's my favorite. Yeah. It's a great documentary about the band up to that point. You get to see Bruce Kulick and Eric Singer in there, And, this is 1992, I think, when that came out. So, yeah. Is Hulk Hogan biopic still happening? Brandon, I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know, but I literally just saw Iron Claw about the Von Erich brothers. And I'd never even heard of the Von Erich brothers. And I loosely followed wrestling back in the day, back in the 80s with Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. and all those guys, Ultimate Warrior. But I guess the Von Erichs must have been before my time because I didn't really. And man, that is the most tragic freaking story I've ever heard. Like insanity. And in the movie, they don't even include one of the brothers. You know, the youngest brothers, not like that. Him as a character, not even in the movie. You know, and that was another you know, I mean, I think I can say this. You know, because it's a true story. You can read up on the Von Erichs, but I think it was six. Why am I holding 4? 6 brothers, and only one of them's alive today. Okay, pretty crazy, and most of them committed suicide. It's insane. So yeah. Does Pat Benatar have a biopic? Okay, let me go to the next. I think I have another topic here. Hold on. Actually, I think I can pull it up right here. Let me look at my list real quick. Oh, there was one thing I was going to talk about real quick. Have you guys ever heard of the Krispy Kreme 5K? I don't know why I wanted to talk about this, but when I was in the military, I've always been into running, and we would have PT 3 times a week. And one of my buddies, my running buddies, he was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of the Krispy Kreme 5K? Because we're doing a Krispy Kreme 5K." And I was like, "What? What is that?" And he was like, "Well, the way it works is you have to eat a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts. And so what you do, each person, you eat half a dozen before you take off running. Then you got to run half a 5K. And then you down another half a dozen donuts. And then you come back." Mikey Weiss, I take it you haven't heard of this, but I figured you would find this interesting. I made this topic for you, Mikey. This was crazy. I said, hell to the fuck no. There's no way I'm doing that. Okay, I enjoy my run. Even like before I run, on days that I run, I don't always eat healthy in the morning, but when I run, I have like a granola bar. I like granola bar, and I down like a couple of bottles of water. That's all I have. I don't want my stomach to be too busy before a run. So I take that shit seriously. So I bowed out. I was like, you know what? I'm up for a challenge, but I'm not going to do freaking Krispy Kreme 5K. So these idiots, they decided to go ahead and do the Krispy Kreme 5K. And they all ate, 6 donuts, take off. By the time they got to the other half of the 5K, they were already like wanting to puke. And one of my buddies, the way he was doing it, he thought he would cheat the system. So he would take 3 donuts and he would mash them down to make it look like one donut. 3 donuts, mashed down to one, and then he would just shove it in his mouth, right? And he'd do that like twice. No matter what, it's still that, it's still half a dozen donuts. And so when you eat the half a dozen, then you come back and eat the other half a dozen. So when these guys got back, because I wanted to see the end result of this, I wasn't missing that to save my life, right? So I was like, okay. And I just waited back, and I wanted to see what the reaction was. Every single one of them, they were like doubled over on the ground. I think 1 or 2 of them puked their guts out, but I think those are the ones that got off easy, because the ones that couldn't puke, the whole day they're just like, oh God, I regret this so much. Like, it was just the worst idea ever. And I just wanted to share it with you guys, because most people don't know what that is. But if you look on YouTube and you type in like Krispy Kreme 5K, you can see videos on it. And you'll see like they have ones where like the guy will be on a track, I think. One of those like circle tracks. And he runs around and he eats 6 of them. And then he runs around again and he eats another 6. And I think they're like dipping them in milk or dipping them in water or something like that. But fuck that. Never done it, never will. I have no desire. When I enjoy my runs. I do. I enjoy going on a run. I like the process. I put my music in. And I enjoy after it too, because I'm starving when I'm done with my 5K. And so I get my shower. then I go out and I treat myself, and I usually get like Sonny's barbecue. Oh, it's so good. Sonny's barbecue, delicious. Yeah, I treat myself, right? Mikey knows what I'm talking about. You got to treat yourself after a good workout, right? There you go. Yeah. And now we could talk about, and I'm not going to go to the stories so we can read them together. I don't think we need to, but Thanksgiving 2. Guys, have you guys seen Thanksgiving? What did you think of it? Did you like Thanksgiving? I'm about to record my top 10 best movies of 2023. I don't know yet, but Thanksgiving, it might be number 1, but I'm not sure. It might be number 3. I don't know. There's a couple of movies that are kind of contending with each other, and I go back and forth. Talk to Me's up there. Talk to Me's one of my favorite movies of the year. And because those movies are so different from each other, it's hard for me to say which one is better. I mean, I think Thanksgiving's more entertaining, but I think Talk to Me is the better movie. I don't know. Both of them are phenomenal, really great. Like, Thanksgiving's one of the best slashers I've seen in a long time. That movie's just so damn fun. So I haven't decided yet, so I guess you'll have to wait until the video actually comes out. But guys, let me ask you this too, and be honest with me, okay? Because I'm thinking about this. Need your feedback. We've been doing like top 10s live, and they're fun, but I need your honest input, okay? Do you think I should go back to just strictly doing my rankings like produced instead of, because when I do them live, I clip them out and I put them over on DD Extra, and they do fine. But I don't know. I think I like the format of producing them, putting in the clips. They're shorter, obviously, because I'm just cutting all the fat. It's more of a production. I don't know. But do you guys care about that? Like, do you care either way? Do you prefer produced, or do you prefer doing them live? I don't know. Now, saying that going forward, that doesn't mean I'm going to fully cut out doing them live. I think I would just probably mix it up. Some of them I'll produce, and some of them will be, I think some top 10s are more fun doing live. I guess it just depends on the top 10. Okay? So let's see what we got. David says, yes, produced is better. Solomon says, produce them. I personally like the format better. Miss Carter says, live, please. Amber says, both work. I guess the thing about doing them live is it's more like interactive with each other, but the rhythm's gone, whereas when you produce them, you're watching, it's just like boom, 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 That's the nice thing about being... Wes says 100% like to produce, but yes, mix it up some. Yeah, so if I'm doing like really out of left field ones, like what I was doing this at the beginning of the stream, talking about fictional bands and movies. That's something that I would do live. That's fine to do live. But if I'm doing like top 10 remakes, horror remakes or something like that, then I think I'm gonna stick with doing the produce. So I thank you so much for your feedback on that, guys. I constantly look for your feedback on things. I'm always wanting to make the channel the best it can be, and I appreciate that for sure. What does that mean to play us out the next cut off the Sting record? What? Gene says, I love both. Shelby says, I like a good mixture of both. Thank you for the feedback, guys. The last topic I wanted to discuss, and I just literally saw this right before the stream, was nothing crazy. I mean, it's a slow news day, okay? There hasn't been anything crazy news-wise coming out, but... By the way, guys, if there's any news that I'm missing, and you would like me to cover, feel free to reach out to me. Shoot me an email or a DM somewhere, Instagram, whatever. That's fine. Oh, the Howard Stern reference. Oh, I got you. Okay. But yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt stated that she would come back to I Know What You Did Last Summer in a heartbeat. And we've heard about this in the past. I think I covered something about this like a year ago or something like that, about them doing another I Know What You Did. So I think this is just confirmation that Jennifer Love Hewitt is on board. So I don't need to read the story. I think you get the idea. She stated she was on Inside of You podcast. Michael Rosenbaum's. She was on his podcast, and she stated, "Yeah, I would definitely do." So I'm hoping we do get a new I Know What You Did Last Summer. I like that series. I think they're fun. I don't like the third one, but I really like. I think I prefer I Still over the first one. Well, guys, which one's better? Is it I Still? Or is the first one the better movie? Okay. Okay, Brandon, he says, I wanted to ask, have you seen the video of the news anchors complaining about Thanksgiving and It's a Wonderful Life, souring the holidays being holiday slashers? No, I haven't heard about this at all. It does bring up a good topic, though, because like some people, they don't like horror and Christmas mixed, you know? Like It's a Wonderful Knife and Thanksgiving. They don't like the two mixed. But I actually prefer, like, I get more excited when they have Christmas horror movies. I don't know. And it's hard for me to explain what's so great about it, but it just makes me happy. Okay? It just makes me. Holiday News Karens. Yeah, maybe that's it, Carly. Chris says, I have more fun with I Still, but I know is the better movie. You know what? It's hard for me to say if it's the better movie, but man, I just love the freaking atmosphere of the second one. I like that it's like it looks like it's set in a freaking hurricane, which is always nice. I think I even like a little bit of the twist at the end. So, yeah. Let's see. Do you have a favorite and least favorite horror remake? Oh, here come the questions. It took me 2 hours to get to the questions. Favorite horror remake is, I mean, by default, you got to go The Thing. If I had to go second best, probably Hills Have Eyes. You know? I've seen so many people mention that, like Christian Hanna, he does a lot of shorts lately, and he said, what's the best horror remake, slasher remake? And he stated that the Friday, and let me know if you agree with him, okay? Of just slashers, is the Friday remake the best slasher remake? And I'm gonna go ahead and give you my quick answer and say hell to the fuck no. Like hell no. I would put like Maniac. I think Maniac's a better slasher remake. There was another one that I was thinking of too that I think's better. My Bloody Valentine. I put My Bloody Valentine way above. But I have major problems with the Friday remake. Okay, it does have some good stuff, but I get annoyed. Like that's one of those movies when I'm watching it, I get annoyed. You know, you ever do that with some movies? You just get annoyed. It's like the Black Christmas 2019 remake. That's my least favorite, by the way. There's your answer for that. I hate that movie. And I just get annoyed. I've only watched it one time. I'm a Black Christmas fanatic. I've owned 06 in the original. I will never buy the 2019 movie. I have no desire to own it. I never want to watch it again. Okay? Dave Vanderhoff says Christmas horror movies are my favorite. I watch nothing but them during December. Yeah. You know, I got to admit, I haven't watched as many as I'd like. You know, just because I've been so busy. But I'm going to be watching Anna the Apocalypse this weekend. I know that. And I'm going to try to fit in Christmas, Bloody Christmas, too. Ooh, maybe that's... Because I'm... real soon, we're doing the Patreon live stream. We're going to do a movie night. If any of my patrons are in there, and I see some of them are, how would you guys feel about watching Christmas, Bloody Christmas? And I think Christmas, Bloody Christmas is on Shudder, too. But that might be a fun one to watch for a patron hangout. That could be fun. Yeah. I'm going to watch my Christine Blu-ray tomorrow. It's celebrating 4 years. I love Christine. Wow, that's a great, and that's a movie I don't ever want to be remade. I don't think. I don't know. I just like the. And another topic that could be good for a live top 10 is biggest douchebags in horror, because the assholes in Christine would definitely be on that list, and of course Trent would be on there too. We were gonna do that, but I ran out of time. Yeah. The fake snow in Black Christmas 2006 is kind of a distraction. Yeah, they definitely, the car scene, I think that's that's one of the scenes where, yeah, really, really bad. Christine 4K, yeah. I don't think I've seen the 4K yet, but it's a beautiful movie. I love Christine. I have the Blu-ray. I do have the Blu-ray though. I think Brian Fuller is directing a Christine remake for Blumhouse. Really? I don't know about that. I'll reserve judgment. Hey, last question for you guys. I'm going to ask you a question, all right? Justin, I'm not a gamer, and I haven't really checked out the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6. And maybe it's just my age, but yeah, I've just never been much of a gamer. And it's embarrassing, but I think the big thing is I just don't have time to. Like some games, man, you have to freaking build your life around them, and I just don't have that time. I really wish I did, but I don't. Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. Darren, is that you? How are you doing, brother? Nice to see you in here. Yep. Always. Are you looking forward to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Yes, I am. I like that last trilogy. I think it's really good. I think the second one's the best. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. But is Kingdom like, does it take... Levi, what's up, buddy? Come here. Does Kingdom take place after? I don't know the timeline on that. I'll definitely watch it. I like the Planet of the Apes movies. Somebody asked me earlier, did I see the Marvels? Yes. I reviewed it. I hated it. Is it the worst Marvel movie? Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't like it, though. It's a jumbled mess of a movie. I didn't like it at all. It's just all over the place. And I think, I think I'm just getting fatigued by the MCU and the way things are going. That's it. I'm just getting really fatigued, okay? I don't like it. Blu-ray Addict says, Kingdom takes place after War of the Planet of the Apes. Okay, that's what I figured. Okay. 2 a.m., Darren. Damn, you are a trooper. We need a Levi cameo. Okay, hold on. He's at the door. He's got to piss. But yeah, there's Levi. Right there. He's got to piss like really. He might piss on me. But yeah, there's Levi. Kyle, what's up, man? How you doing? Caesar's Son is the focus. Okay. Yeah, I'll watch it. It could be good. Do you feel the Scream movies are overrated and wish they would end already? You know what? I'll say this. If you give me a good movie, I don't care if you're number 25 in the running. Okay? It's always a shame for a good movie to not be made. That's the way I look at it. So, if you make a good Scream movie, I will watch it. All right? I'm not like angry or tired of the franchise. I didn't really care for 6. I thought the plot armor was just way too distracting and annoying. But there are things about Scream 6 that are really cool. Okay? I'll say that. But, yeah. I'm not going to lie. I want more Scream movies. I think they're fun movies, I don't think there's been a bad Scream movie yet. Yeah, it's definitely not the worst franchise either. Okay? But I think they bought into their hype way too much in Scream 6. They thought these characters were indestructible to the audience. Like, don't you dare. I think that's what they thought. That they thought that the audience was saying, don't you dare kill these characters. And that's not what the audience was saying. Go ahead and kill a couple. I don't care. It raises the stakes, right? I mean, hell, you killed Dewey in Scream 5. So why not knock off one of the core 4 in Scream 6, Because by not killing any of them, you're basically stating that they're more important than Dewey is. That's the way I'm looking at it. So, yeah. Lee just watched Chopping Mall on Tubi, and it's super silly cheese fest, but fun. Watch. Are you? Yeah, I love Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall's fun as hell. What's an underrated teen comedy no one talks about? Well, I mean, I think Teen Wolf got overshadowed by Back to the Future. Now, a lot of people still know Teen Wolf. I mean, hell, they even have like a modern version of Teen Wolf. But that's probably one of my favorite teen comedies, is Teen Wolf. But now if you want to go like a deep cut, I'd say like Playing for Keeps. That's one that I never, ever hear anybody talking about. I saw that in the theater with a very young Marissa Tomei. There's so many of them back then. You know, I liked the raunchy teen comedy. I actually did top 10 80s teen comedies. You can find that on Drumdums Extra. Just type that in. And we talked about like Porky's, Last American Virgin, and just tons of really great, fun teen comedies. Okay? Just One of the Guys. Yeah. Really fun stuff, for sure. So, yeah, anyway, guys, 9 o'clock. I think that's going to do it. Now, one more plug for the Patreon page, guys. At the beginning of the stream, we did Patreon exclusive topics. I'm going to start doing that every stream. You know, we'll probably spend like maybe the first 15, 20 minutes talking about really fun, interesting topics that my patrons give me. If you jumped in later in the stream, definitely check out the beginning, because we talked about like fictional bands in movies, and that was a lot of fun. And that's an idea that I would have never thought about doing, but one of my patrons, Beth S., she said, hey, this is one you should talk about. So yeah, consider being a Drumdums patron. You can jump in that stuff, and you can actually jump in for free if you want. Now Patreon offers the option to be a free patron. That doesn't mean you're going to get all the exclusive content, but there's some stuff that you can get as a free member. You know, there's some updates I might put in there for free. So yeah, and it also helps the channel. So I appreciate that, guys. But anyway, I got to take Levi out. He seems like he's really got to go potty. I'm sorry, buddy. Okay. So I love you guys so much. Okay. Take care of each other. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope your December is going really great. And love you guys.